Hi, Holly.
Hello.
Olly, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Really good. Yeah. I've just got off the tour bus. Obviously, just been travelling overnight to get here to Amsterdam. So, yeah, I feel good. Yeah, not too bad.
Okay. Well, before we talk about the music and the most recent album, I'd like to go back to the beginning first. Do you recall the moment you first knew you were attracted to the spotlight?
Well, I mean, I think as a kid, I always listened to a lot of music and always felt that was something that I really wanted to do. But I mean, I didn't think it was a job that I could do. I mean, I think we all, when we grow up, we all love to be famous and be in the spotlight. I mean, it's you don't know how you're going to cope with it until obviously you're in the spotlight. So no, I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to. Then I grew out of it and wanted to be a football player, and then luckily enough, I went back into it and I went on the X Factor and luckily got my chance. So it was, it wasn't something that I craved, but it's definitely something that I wanted.
But you don't know why?
No, I mean, it was, let's be fair. I mean, anyone wants to be famous. It's going to be very difficult. You can't just be famous. You have to be a talent, or you have to have something to do it. So when I was younger, I didn't think I had any talent. So football was the only thing that I loved and wanted to do. And then, of course, when that finished and I stopped playing, music was something that I fell in love with. And then, luckily for me, it's given me also the fame side of it and the different rewards. But at the same time, I get to make music now, which is great.
But had you been interested in music and singing when you were playing football?
I mean, yeah, I did. I used to sing a lot in the showers, and I used to sing to the players, have a laugh, and they used to always say I had a decent voice, and I used to sort of, I used to go out and we used to dance a lot and perform a lot. So it's always been in my blood. It's always been something that I've loved and been very passionate about. But I mean, at this kind of level and this kind of stage, I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd get to this point. But everyone, everyone seems to, love my music or what I've been doing. So it's given me a great opportunity. So I'm really happy.
And had there been a lot of music around when you were growing up as well?
When I was growing up, yeah, I mean, I always listened to music. Michael Jackson was always played a lot. And my dad used to play a lot of Queen and David Bowie and Elton John and Morrissey and people like that. Like, he used to play a lot of music. And yeah, Michael Jackson was always the key point of that. And I suppose when I watched him, it was just like amazed of how amazingly talented this guy was. And what a great voice, what a great performer, what a great dancer. So yeah, that all the musical influences, benefit you. And I suppose now, when you're a kid, you take all this in and it all goes in. And even now, I take a lot of other artists' things in, and hopefully, I've become the guy that I am today.
And well, then as you got injured, you went into music. But you tried out before 2009. You tried out twice before.
Yeah.
So can I assume you were determined and you believed in yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think if any dream that you want to aspire to, you have to believe. And I believed that when I went for my first audition, I just felt like I wasn't selling myself. The song wasn't great for me. I don't know why I picked it.
What song did you pick?
I think I picked, it was Jungle Book, I Want to Be Like You was the first one I sung. And then the second year, I did it again and I sung a Paolo Nutini song. And again, I just didn't think I gave the best performance. And obviously, I decided that the third year was my last and final attempt. And it just all fell into place. And even talking to you now, it brings back loads of memories of what it was like, the travelling and the expectation and the buzz and the feeling of, hopefully I can get through, and I did. And, it really did change my life forever. And I think I felt that. I felt like something was changing. I felt excited, and the things are going to change. This is going to be quite exciting. And when, and the further I got in the competition, it was an amazing moment for me.
Well, the X Factor is a type of show that creates overnight sensations, in a sense. So when this happened to you, how did you deal with it? Because there's so many things, different things coming at you. You're not used to.
It's very difficult to start from, to go from being no one to then all of a sudden being famous. It's a big step, and no one, I think, can really prepare you for it. And I'm sure a lot of other people could sit here and say the same. It's a massive step in your life when you go from walking down the street and no one knowing who you are to then people knowing who you are, and it's you know, it can really test someone's, you know, test how they cope with it, you know, because not everyone can, and I think that's why a lot of people come and go. I mean, you probably sit and talk to loads of people over the last few years, and people just come and go, you know. Some people can deal with it, some people can't. So yeah, I dealt with it really, really well. I felt, you know, I'm still dealing with it every day. I get on with it, and it's obviously very intrusive into your life, but at the same time, it has so much reward. And I think it's a period in my life that will be where it is, and I think that I'm sure at some point I'll get married and have kids, and they'll become a priority in my life, and maybe music won't be a priority anymore. But you know, I think this is a period in my life that I'm really excited about, and it's going really, really well. So, you know, you enjoy it for as long as it lasts, and then, you know, you move on to the next chapter.
Well, as you alluded to, this fame thing brings with it a lot of scrutiny, both from the media and the public, and you've struggled with it, as you discuss in your memoir as well, for a while. How did you come out of it?
Well, I mean, I struggled for about, I'd say it was about a month or two, and it was about 2 years ago. It was just because I had so much going on. I'd just taken a new job, and it was working on TV. I was a presenter on TV called The Extra Factor, and it was a big, big show. And I think music and presenting at the same time, it was kind of like a mixed, I felt that people were getting a mixed opinion, like, is he a presenter or is he a singer? And so it kind of made me feel nervous about the fact of releasing an album, because it might not do well, my music might suffer, or my TV work might suffer. You know, it was really hard for me to congest and figure out. Luckily I did, and it was fine. I mean, I just felt for like a month or two, I had a lot of pressure on my shoulders, and felt a lot of anxieties and nervous about everything, and it just made me realise that, you know, maybe this isn't going to work, and made the wrong decision. But with all them pressures, you know, I had a few drinks, was drinking more than I normally do. I felt down, I felt depressed. And then, weirdly enough, when it all fell into place and everything was great, it just made me happy again. So.
What fell into place at that point?
Well, just because I released my song, Heart Skips a Beat, went #1. And then I started the Extra Factor live shows. As well, at the time I was travelling all over the place. I was travelling here, travelling there, I was doing all these shows, and I was obviously very tired.
A sense of exhaustion.
Yeah, exhaustion. I was depressed. I had so much going on. It was the first time I ever was so busy. I've never been able to cope with that. And yeah, I just got to the end of that cycle, and just, I suppose, I just was worried, but everything fell into place. I did my first live TV presenting show, got massive ratings, and everyone was buzzing, and the write-ups and the critics were brilliant. They said how amazing I did. So that was like a weight off my shoulders. And then obviously, you know, all my music was doing well, so everything just came off, and I was fine. You know, I went back to normal. And
is this something you? Well, I was gonna say that people confirm who you are for you, but that doesn't sound right. But do you need people basically telling them they?
Well, no, I think that for an artist, when you're a singer and performer like I am, that's who I am. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to do. Sometimes you can take a job, and it can take away what you're trying to achieve musically. And, you know, when you're a TV presenter, it can completely change people's perceptions of you and go, oh, what are you doing now? Are you a TV presenter or are you a singer? I'm unsure. But luckily for me, I was able to combine the two and have loads of success. So I'm pleased I did it. It was a really good experience for me.
And the first love will always be the music?
Always music, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, TV presenting and TV work will definitely be something I'll do in the future, but not now. I mean, it's all about music.
Okay. Well, then one more thing about the X Factor. The public seems to be divided on talent shows like the X Factor. Some people love it, some people hate it. So was it also was it like a blessing and a curse to have gone through it?
I think at the end of the day, however people think, I mean, the difference between people watching the show and people buying music is very different. I think, so for me, doing the X Factor was a great experience, but, you know, it was an amazing platform for me, and it gave me a chance to win fans over. But, you know, I remember when we did the X Factor, like 20 million people watched the show, the final of our year, and, you know, I think it was something like 7 million people voted for me, and 9 point something million voted for for Joe, or something stupid like that. It was something stupid number. But when I released my music, you know, I didn't have 7 million people buy it. You know what I mean? So it's a very different audience. But you know, I think I would never say no to the X Factor. I've never once, you know, slagged off the show or said anything bad about it, because what is bad about it? You know, it's given hundreds of other contestants that have done the show the ability to go out and have a life in music, or the chance to do it. And you know, it's only a platform, that's all it is. You know, if you're going to go on and be a big star, you know, it's a great platform to win fans, but also to showcase who you are, and then for you to develop after that. And that's kind of what I've done.